Hello, this is David D. Hilster. I'm a critical thinker, dissident scientist here. If you are not science woke, then this is the place for you. There are literally thousands and thousands of scientists from around the world who've been working for decades outside the mainstream, who've identified problems, fixed those problems, and who are proposing new theories and models. You won't find anything like this on YouTube, so you want to make sure you go right down below and click on that subscribe button and little bell next to it, and you'll be alerted to when our next video drops. I will tell you today is something I've been trying to get together and bitch and moan to everybody about, and I am going to do it today, and that is what? The problems with dissidents. And I will tell you, this is David D. Hilster's pet peeves. I have lots of them. This is a huge frustration for me. It's a frustration, and this channel is actually one of the great victories I've been having as of late in the last year and a half. And I really appreciate everybody's patronage and people enjoying these videos. I do get a lot of great and positive feedback. I continue to grow as a channel, and that is wonderful. And I thank all of you for being here. I really get angry at this. I actually get quite upset. There are times where I just don't know why I'm even doing this. I try everything I can think of. I feel alone in this endeavor. I feel many times that there are lots of people who are interested, but no one actually doing it in the way that I think it needs to be done. And almost none of them will watch this, the people who are the dissidents who have problems with what I'm going to talk about today. So what happens is not only I'm bitching and moaning about what dissidents don't do and why we are stuck, a lot of it's our own problem. It's that they're not even going to watch this anyways. If you are a dissident, if you are a member of the CMPS and you are watching this, yes, I am president. I really appreciate that. The idea is not to watch me, but the idea is to do marketing, and that's what we're trying to do. So anyway, let's go forward with this talk, because it's quite interesting. You don't want to miss this one, because I'm going to lay not into the big science. I'm not laying into mainstream. I'm laying into the dissidents. So before I start, I always like to give this example. I've given this example in some of my other talks, maybe in some of my live talks, but I will go over it again because I think it's very important. Pablo Picasso. I'm an artist myself, been painting and drawing since I was 3 years old. It's something that I was born with, and I love art quite a lot. And Pablo Picasso is one of the greatest of the 20th century, if not the greatest. He could paint realistic in his early teens, and then of course he went into abstraction. You can't get to abstraction without being able to do realism, and that's why so many modern artists and so many artists of the contemporary of his were bad, because they couldn't draw. How can you get to abstract if you can't see reality? Boy, that sounds familiar with physics, doesn't it? But there's one thing that was really important when I watched some specials about him, some documentaries, I guess, some movies about Picasso. Basically, he was one of the greatest marketers of his own work. He would get together all the collectors who wanted his work together in a very small room and have them sit there and stew, waiting to see who would get the latest paintings from him, because he could only produce so many, but although he was super prolific. And so he would pit them against each other and have them sit there not knowing who would be called first and who would get the first picks. And so they're always trying to get on his good side. They're always trying to compliment him, and we're very grateful of him, and it was a great marketing ploy. And so just because Picasso is a huge name, and any Picasso, if you find it's worth a lot of money, well, it's not only a lot of money just because he was a great artist, it's because he marketed himself. And that's a big problem in the dissident world. Let's go forward. Well, one of the problems is the stubbornness amongst dissidents, and I've seen this for over 20 years. Even my mentor, Dr. Riccardo Carrizzani, although he was fighting all by himself alone for many decades, I can't really blame him. And some of these people, it's hard to blame. But we eventually have to draw the line, say, okay, we've got to blame ourselves. A lot of them say they're too old to waste time on marketing. Must work on my theory because I only have so many years left. And okay, that's fine. But again, if we don't work on any marketing of anything, no one's ever going to read it. It's going to be lost, and maybe actually literally lost physically and digitally. They complain that no one is listening. So it's sort of this weird thing where the dissidents, say, well, Dave, no one's listening to me. And they only find problems with any type of marketing. Oh, I've tried this, I've tried that, it doesn't work. And so this is what dissidents do, most all of them. Very few of them. I try to convince some of them, and some of the best scientists we have won't do this. Or I point it to them and they just sit there. They want to be, I don't know, hands held. I wish I had, again, well, I didn't put it in this talk, but again, if you were a millionaire or a billionaire and you want to push science forward, send the money my way. Not because I want to be rich. I could do this full time and not have to worry about on my regular job of 40 hours a week. I could do this stuff, and then we can concentrate on this. I've got projects to get this stuff out, but I'm only one person, and that of course is another problem. Let's keep on the track, Dave. Here, marketing that doesn't work. Now, this is what dissidents often do. Oh, they got a website of my work. I've got a website of my work. It's there, but no, there's very few people who read it, and they put their counters below, and sometimes they'll actually go to their web page and they'll load it up 50 times, or they'll change the counter to make it look like lots of people have been there. But you say, well, I put my website up. Just putting up a website doesn't mean it's going to work. A few YouTube videos in isolation. There are people who have been doing that for many years, tens of years. Some people have been more successful than others, but most of them are just isolated and very few views. Hundreds of views, maybe thousands of views, but that's over 10 years. Publishing papers in online repositories. Now, there are a lot of repositories online that will accept pretty much everything. And so you can publish stuff against the Big Bang, against relativity, against plate tectonics, for expansion tectonics, for infinity theories, for ether theories, for particle theories, all those kinds of things. You can publish them online, but there are thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, there are millions of papers out there. And who's going to come across yours? Why are they going to all of a sudden, having been taught by universities that all this stuff in mainstream is right, and then all of a sudden you write a paper that comes along and says, here's a brand new model, and this wise it's good, people are going to go, is anybody else supporting it? That's the other thing. We've got to have everybody support it, otherwise it's like Wikipedia, right? So those are some of the things that don't work. And of course, Wikipedia is actually one of them. If I go back here, I didn't put it here, but Wikipedia is another one where people go in and they'll try to put their information or their work in it, or put something against the Big Bang in the Big Bang page, and they get relegated out, edited out. So that doesn't work either, because why? Wikipedia's consensus. Its job is to tell what everybody thinks, not to think of what the future could be. So let's go forward still. Marketing that is working now. Marketing type YouTube channels like this one and some others. My father has one. Nick of Time has one. Jeff Yee has one. And yeah, they get, you got to get them. I do more videos than anybody. And the idea is to do videos that are interesting, that people come back. They're going to get stuff like they're not going to hear anywhere else. Like this whole lecture about this stuff right here. I always point wrong because like there's nothing really here. It's just like a graphic right there, but I can see the graphic and point to it. Anyways, so the marketing, marketing type channels like this channel, active YouTube channels. That is like our CMPS has an active YouTube channel, and we have our conferences, yearly conferences. Now we do live right to YouTube, and those things are there forever now, with the audio corrected and the good slides. We got it all down. It took me many years, and yes, I lost 2017 videos, and it's really sad. But the active, I digress. I guess this is just me, complaining and feeling sorry for myself video. How's that? Isn't that a great one? Yeah, I'm glad you're sticking around for this. But no, but you should stick around because there's some interesting things. Again, you're not going to see anywhere else. Websites that are constantly updated with material. We try to do that with our CMPS website by having any of our members be able to write a blog about something that's interesting. It gets out there, And then, of course, it gets indexed by the blogosphere. And yes, you can search on our articles, and they will come up in Google and other search engines. So that's good. And then I started Basecamp to get critical thinkers to do their own marketing and to try to get them and herd the cats by using an online system that gets and reminds people. I've taken about a month off from everything, and people are probably wondering what the heck happened to me, just like you guys. I took a couple weeks off. But I'm back. I was sick, and I was sick and tired of stuff, and that's why you're hearing me moan and complain right now. But it is interesting, and it should be out there, and all dissidents should understand this, because it's really important that we know that we're our own worst enemies at times. Marketing that can work. ScienceWoke.org is targeted at a new audience, answering questions before they even ask them, doing it in a way that's really interesting and modern, and something that you would get if you were reading, if Discovery Channel was to do stuff about the dissident, about dissident science. And that's my hope someday, that this gets so big and I get so many followers that maybe the Discovery Channel will want to do a channel and I'll become famous and powerful. No, that's not what I'd want. I want it so that we'd actually get the information about this amazing science and put science back on track. You know, I always tell people, love to have money, love to have fame, love to have some power like that. Why? Because you can do real things. We could really change science for the better. Because after all, I'm just a person out there trying to communicate to you guys what I know, and I think it's quite worth knowing, and my time, using my time on it. We need a big, comprehensive, and easy to understand movement, and I think the Science Woke is that. I'm working on it, but you know, it's just me. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Of course, there's social media, and social media is out there waiting for us to do stuff, and I have Science Woke entertainment for the masses that would literally get millions of people in our direction, but we're not ready for them. If Science Woke was there, our Wikipedia was doing well, if our university online had courses to be able to take in this new stuff, we'd be ready, but we're not. I feel alone in this fight, and do the following. I put this in because I was typing the same thing over and over. So I'm the president of the CMPS. I'm doing it because I figure I'm one of the best people right now to keep this thing moving forward and into the modern age of marketing and keeping us moving with the organization. I have great respect, and I've been around over 20 years with this organization. So yeah, but I feel alone in that. I do have Bruce Nappy. He puts in a lot of time into the CMPS, but pretty much I feel like a one-man show a lot of times. I'm the graphic artist for all this stuff, so all the graphics you've seen, the great yeah, just say, Dave, just say great logos. Yeah, just say it, Dave, because you know, actually they're pretty good. I'm pretty good at graphics because I'm an artist and I like doing them. So the graphics you see, like even on the Science Woke, if you've seen some of my videos before, the Science Woke has a new logo. We got a logo for the CMPS. We've got graphics. We have I do memes, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm the graphic artist. I'm also the webmaster. Actually, I take care of the dedicated server that our CMPS is on, a dedicated server. Dave D. Hilster. I have my own server as well, a dedicated server on the internet. It's probably got about 25 websites on it. You know, being the webmaster, I'm a programmer in PHP. I'm a programmer in, yeah, probably 10 computer languages. But for this kind of stuff, I do the PHP, MySQL, WordPress. I'm sort of the big idea person as well. I'm always trying to think of, you know, the slogans. I got to Science Woke by just going first to critical thinkers, then I got to Science Woke. And I think that's, you know, that works out quite well. But, you know, I'm sort of the big idea person as well, conference producer. The annual conferences we have, I'm pretty much the one who does that. Again, people help, but, you know, I don't have the big team. Treasurer and sponsorship person, yeah, I put together the automatic online system that reminds our people to pay their dues through PayPal, and then I wrote the code to then suck it up and put it into our database so that we keep that information online in the database. So yeah, and I also solicit sponsors for the CMPS, and we do have some regular sponsors, which I greatly appreciate and thank. But you know, I'm the one doing that. I'm also the writer and journalist for the group, because I'm the one out there doing like Science Woke, and you know, which was the critical thinkers, and you know, I try to get people to write articles that sort of are interesting and have bents and have storylines and that kind of stuff, and no one seems to be able to do it. I've had numbers of people through the years say, oh yeah, I'm a writer and I can do that, but they never end up doing anything for us, and that's no good. And I'm sort of turned into worldwide spokesperson via this channel, and that's actually one of the better things that's been going on. So yeah, I often feel like, you know, there are other people on YouTube, for instance, like the Sky Scholar does some great work. It's got a lot of followers. I think he goes through the Electric Universe. The Electric Universe people have a lot of people, over 100,000 subscribers, because they've been online for 10 years. I imagine if this keeps going on for 10 years, we could end up having 100,000 people on it. But you listen to me, yeah? And then, you know, we have other people who are out there trying to do stuff. But really, this is still unique. This channel is still unique. I don't know. I think part of it's because I try to keep very positive and very objective about it. I'm not married to anybody's ideas, and I'm married to good ideas in the idea that critical thinkers should be out there. And I even like lots of models that are not my own, and I marvel at them, at what they are trying to do and how they solve things. And I think part of those are the reasons why people like this channel, because I'm not here pushing my own theory, although I know more about it than most. Get that sentence right here. Anyways, who's to blame for the stuckness of science, for us being in this place where, you know, I feel like I'm by myself in the world, except for, of course, my subscribers. Everyone who loves science is really to blame, because we let it go on, just like we are to blame for electing officials who, politicians around the world who catered to the wealthy and who are just ripping apart the middle class and the general population. We vote these people in, and we let them market stuff to us. We believe stuff without thinking about it, and that's how even big science has been snowing us over the years. How big science is fooling us. And of course, all the dissidents themselves, because they don't do like Picasso. They don't spend the time to market themselves. I tell people who have great theories like Jeff Yee, and he keeps telling me, thanks so much, Dave, for suggesting I do these things like the YouTube channel and the other things. And but yet I suggest it. I give everybody the means to do it. They're all around the world. There's no excuse, because anybody with a browser and the internet can do all the things they can do. They can write stuff about themselves. They can hype up their theories. They can put it in a university to be taught. They have a Wikipedia where they have no one telling them how to edit and say that they can't talk about their own theories and models. They can talk about themselves and their great work, and they have blogs they can talk, and they don't do it. In general, they just don't do it. And they probably sit around and then they figure, oh well, you know, unless I see it working, I'm not going to waste my time on that. And I have people who are just absolutely fantastic, and trying to get them to do these things has just been like pulling teeth. And of course, who's really to blame in the end is big science for them not really truly looking for truth, but looking more for power and prestige and position, and nerds who get picked on because of our society doesn't treat people who look at physics and cosmology as people who are worth something socially in our society, and so they get ostracized, and this ostracization, if you want to call it that, gets them into wanting to get their revenge, like the Revenge of the Nerds, and so they go off and they pretend to build these unicorn worlds of particle physics and cosmology and relativities and in multi-dimensions, and then try to make everyone else seem stupid. And then when they go to their high school reunion and they all come back and they go, look at, oh, he's an astrophysicist, oh, from MIT, oh my gosh, his brain is like a super brain that understands things we'll never understand. And we just take it for granted that they're right, and we get stuck with it. So big science is the problem. And of course, universities, because universities don't teach us critical thinking. They don't teach us to look at what's been taught to us as truth, to question that truth, and then to find problems with those truths and to find better truths. So yeah, all those people are to blame. And how to solve this problem? Of course, I always try to say, how do we solve this problem? Well, more than one person fighting the fight. I've been trying to do that even with YouTube channels. I make people's logos. I make them the channel. I set them up with the channel. I teach them how to do it. I mean, I'm just like this, one man teaching person of how to do it. And what do I have? My dad. I have Nick Percival and Jeff Yee. And I have about 10 other people, 20 other people, 30 other people that should be out there doing these YouTube channels, but they don't do them. They don't take the time. And it's sad. I guess I will just keep going, And I guess if I have to look at how to solve the problem, I need to become, I'm not David is still not a great leader to get people to work on this. So as much, I've got base camp there, and that was the idea, is to spend money on a program to get people to sign them things to do and just sort of push them. So I am at fault for not being a good enough leader to inspire those to do things. I may inspire people in their thinking for my channel, but I'm certainly not inspiring people to actually get in the fight and help do things. Work on the sciencewoke.org. I've got over almost 3,000 subscribers, and I greatly appreciate everybody's attendance, and not everybody can help, that's for sure. But I've got almost 3,000 people. It'd be good to have somebody who says, Dave, I'm going to help out. We got to get this out there. I'm willing to put in some time and all that. But this has been my rant about why my pet peeves against dissidents and how we're not doing anything about it. And I hope this is not a pity party for me, but it is something that we need to think about and truly try to address. I need to get back on it, and my goal is in this next year as the president in our organization to get people to do the work. And I guess I have to be the taskmaster to try to get them in their places and get them to do stuff and assign them things. And I'm going to try my best. I guess I'm going to just keep going. And if anybody wants to help out, man, you're totally welcome. I've got the websites. I got people you could even help out, get other people to help out. Take some time together. But again, I understand it. Even if only you do, the only thing you do is to enjoy this channel, and maybe let other people know about it. That's a big help, because as we grow this channel, this is just another way of getting more people aware. And those people who want to help out, like myself, who can get out in front and talk about all this stuff, or whatever they do, they can write well, they can help with the Science Woke website so I can get that out, because I've got great articles in there. But I come down and I sit once a week, twice a week, and try to write something on some big subjects and big, really great ideas. But my brain, gets fried. Can only do so much creativity before it explodes, and then etc. But remember what I say, don't ever take my word for any of this. You want to stay critical, you want to stay thinking. I'm David D. Hilster, I'm your science therapist. My job is to get you science woke. Ciao for now.